Hey, everybody, welcome back to Jay and Nichole's Learning Lab podcast. Hope you're doing well. Today, we are going to we're going to talk about the first official Learning Lab podcast product. We'll probably whine a little bit and complain about a few things. Um, and also, we want to kind of talk a little bit about AI and the future of online teaching from our perspective, what we think. Nicole?
Yeah, wow, that's a lot to start with, isn't it? So we're going to start with the vent session, or we're going to talk about the quote unquote merch. Are we going to talk about
Merch. We got merch.
not really. Where do we want
Um,
to jump in with the A, or what are we going to start with?
let's let's
Because
let's start with the Learning Lab product. So
all right.
I'll do this. I'll let you do the other one. Um, so um, as everybody, well, all three of you should know that we use Notion to to run our business.
Ah,
Um,
yeah.
and it's worked out phenomenally for me. It's got me off of Google Sheets and everything.
Mm.
So we are going to be putting together a template uh, for teachers that they can use, and will it be exactly like mine or exactly like Nicole's? Probably not. Um, but it will it'll do the same thing because we can apply a lot of lessons learned when we built ours to the new one. It's not ready yet. I'm still building it. Translation. I haven't done anything yet, but it's coming this week.
The idea has been formed.
Right, right. But this will be our first, I guess you call it merch. I never really considered that. But this will be the first Learning Lab product. I'm excited
Yeah,
about that.
I'm
We
actually
will
pretty
also,
excited.
yeah, we're also going to offer, of course, this isn't free, guys, but it won't be outrageously expensive. We will also offer, for those that are technically challenged, we will offer a service where we'll hold your hand and we'll show you how it works and everything, and we'll be available for questions for those that need that. Okay,
I
cool.
mean, it's a little bit of a learning curve when it's something you're not used to. It can feel daunting, but honestly, once you learn it, it's not that difficult, and
Right,
the logic starts to make sense, and
right.
it really changes how much time you spend preparing your lessons.
Mhm.
I literally, and I'm not even exaggerating. I was really shocked about it. We talked about it when we were first doing Notion. It literally cut our prep time in half.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
like it was significant because you could just walk in and be like, "Oh, okay, yep, that's what I got to do. Ready to go." You
I've
know?
got everything in one place. I know who I'm teaching. I know how many classes they have left. Um, I even put the students' payment link in their Notion page, so I don't even have to send them a payment link anymore. Uh, I'll be honest with you, only like one of my students uses the link. I still have to send payment links. Right, right. So I
But
know
it's
which
there though.
parents are paying
It's
attention.
complete, right? It's complete.
Mhm.
Well, I actually have two parents, three parents who actually paid attention to. I created a special day off calendar that's connected to my Google,
Right?
and it's in their Notion, so they can see
Mhm.
at the bottom like my actual, because it's a rotating schedule,
Right.
and they'll message me and go, "Hey teacher, are you still having this day off this week?" And I went, "Yes." "Okay, thanks." And I'm like, wow, they actually looked at it. Huh. I was like,
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah, stay tuned for more information. I should have that ready to go next week. Next week.
wow,
Okay.
that soon.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it won't take that long.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I've really gotten into Notion. I've really enjoyed it. Some of the logic, even for me, with I do have a tiny bit of a IT background, not a whole lot, but I do. And even for me, sometimes the logic's a little strange, but in this current project that I did. Um, but I was significantly just really shocked at how much it organized things for me that I had in many different
It,
places. Everything was
you
free and piecemealed together.
now, to be clear, you don't have to pay for Notion for this template to work.
No, I
Okay.
I had the free version up until like for the longest time.
Yeah,
I did
you're using the paid
everything
version
free.
now, right?
Now because of the TCC Pay
Yeah.
portal, there's freeze there was I hate it when you say that man so much. He does it on purpose because he knows it irritates me. Uh the there was a couple things that I needed in the paid version to get
Mhm.
the proper visuals, but um I will say that the paid version for the it gives you that transcribe feature with the memos so you don't have to do those anymore. That was really awesome. What's nice about that is over time, you can actually I have a template that I just slap in and it'll tell me what my last class was without me having to even look at the previous memo.
Yeah.
There's another way I do it that lets me just see it instantly as well.
Mhm.
But there is a workaround for that, which I will share with people when we have our template ready. If you don't want to
Mhm.
do the paid version, there is a workaround to still get AI memos at an extreme savings. You know what I was using before. It's
Right.
a one-time payment, and you can slap it into Notion, and you're good to go. Um, but yeah, I was running I will say, kudos to Notion, the amount that you can do for free on that platform
It's
is
incredible.
insane.
It's absolutely incredible. Unbelievable. You can do everything I do except the memos with the free version. You can't do the automated memos.
Yep.
And the parents of mine that do look at those, they really appreciate them. They really appreciate
It's cut down a lot of my time.
it.
Like I said, I for a very long time I was using another product, which I do like. I still like it. I still use it. But since I have to do the paid version for my other company, I went back to the Notion memos.
Yeah. And,
Um,
you know, the other thing is the parents, they don't just stay at home and be parents all day. Most of them work, and a lot of them are familiar with Notion. They may
yeah.
not use it, but they at least know what it is. And it adds a bit of professionalism when you show them what you have for them.
A
And so,
surprisingly large amount of my students knew what
yes,
Notion was.
students know it. Yeah,
Now
students know
that
what
was
it
that
is
was
too.
shocking for me.
My
Um,
niece saw me working in Notion a couple weeks ago, and she goes, "Is that Notion?" And I said,
right?
"Yeah, yeah, it is." She goes, "Oh,
Yeah.
I use that."
A lot of
Well,
kids do actually. They have free templates to help them
mhm,
organize their schoolwork and their schedules. And they find it very
right.
easy because you can do it on their phone too.
Which reminds me, next week I want to talk about Notebook LM.
Ah, okay. That sounds
All
good.
right.
Ooh, yeah, you shared some stuff with me on that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that that'll be a good one.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Notion is it's extremely powerful. I really suggest people to, take a look at it or, wait for us to bring out some stuff and let us help
All
you
right.
set it up. But I know, right? I It was a massive improvement and it's extremely professional. You can make it look as simple and pared down or as mine's a little more gooey interface. Mine has a little more of the pretty look for the parents. I did a little design. But it's parents enjoy it a lot because it's very easy for them to access. It's
All right.
very easy to access on the phone, by the way. The phone
Yeah.
app is actually good.
And they get it right away. Well, they get the memo right away. If you're not doing the memos, then it's just for you. It's just for you. But nothing says you have to pay for it to get the memos. You can put your memos in a page, and the students can access that, and they can see it if
Well,
you're
see,
going to do them by hand.
that's what I was doing. I used another AI that I would just slap in the memo. Um, but there's ways to do that for free as well to slap it in really quick. I did a student memo center, but I also did a student note center. So I charge extra for memos and videos. So you have your
Mhm.
base price, and then if you want a memo or video, because I have to curate those, there's an additional charge. So a student note, which is still an interface for the parents, you're still going to have like, where you started today, where you're starting next week. That's what I
Mhm.
put in there for a note. And then this is your materials, so that's listed there with a link as well. This is your link for the class. This is your payment link. This is your schedule. That's what I have on the teacher, like the student's page. So parents can just go in and say, okay, this is where they're at. This is where we're starting next week. This is where we're going to preview because they know where they're starting. They have the link to their materials. They have the link to the class. It's just so easy for them because they'll teach the kid. They'll put the little link on their computer, and they teach the kid already knows, or the student knows how to access it. Kids
Yeah.
like it. Everybody likes it, really, to be honest. They loved that I did that. When I switched from my Wix website, I still have it, but my TCC website also has a Wix app. They love this 1,000 times better
Right.
than
It's
the Wix app. The Wix app is so difficult.
right. Yep. I agree. I
Agree.
agree.
All right. Next week, we will have an update on this.
All right.
What's on next on the agenda?
Yeah. What's next? Your turn.
So are we going to do gripe session or are we going to do AI?
Let's do AI.
Oh, you want me to do the AI? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That works.
But
All
we can
right.
open it.
Yeah, I'm gonna open it. I'm just looking. I actually did have the picture up. So and oh nope, don't make that go away. Come back. There
Why
we
don't
go.
you share your screen on that too, so
I
people
am.
can
I was
see
just
it?
trying to get it up so that way I could get it over here. All right, so we're gonna share screen. So let's talk about AI. Everybody's favorite topic, right? All right, share, share, share. Where's the share button? Oh, there it is.
I don't know, but I'll raise my hand first. I'm so tired of hearing about AI. I'm not gonna lie, and I love technology, but I'm so tired of hearing about it.
Yeah, uh, you're sharing your screen. I
Yep,
am.
I see it.
Okay, cool. That's good to know because I wasn't sure about that. Okay, so AI, yeah, I'm tired of the fear mongering on AI.
Right,
That's what I'm
right.
tired of. Like new innovations, what it can do for you, the improvements. Yeah, that's interesting and fun. But the constant fear mongering, it's almost like Terminator's gonna show up tomorrow. You know,
Sorry, Katie, you're one of them right here. This is a post from Katie Prescott, by the way, friend of the podcast.
yeah, there we go. Got rid of that. All right, so what we keep hearing constantly is how AI is going to replace everybody's jobs and specifically teachers, right? Especially
Right.
online teachers because, you know, they can do everything we can do. Now they have avatars and they can mimic our voices and our speech patterns and our knowledge with this huge database that they have. Eh, okay. I could see in the future, to be honest, I'm not gonna lie. I think in the future there will be a segment of the population that will have a market base
Yep.
for AI learning. That that's obviously coming down the pike. I mean, this is a
Let me,
no-brainer.
let me serve it up. So, Nicole, what segment do you think it's best served for?
Well, Jay, I am so glad you asked me that question. Let's get into it. It was funny. We talked about this yesterday, and I am 150% on board or 1,000% on board with AI taking over the entry level beginning students.
Yeah,
Parents who want to have you teach their 3-year-old online or 4-year-old or even sometimes the 5-year-old too.
yeah,
And you just sit there and go, ma'am, they're really not ready for an online class.
right. That's it. Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
no.
I'm a teacher,
Uh,
not a babysitter.
Thank you. So, honestly, I think these are the kids that would do very well with this because they could do short 10-minute classes, 15-minute classes. It's
Mhm.
not going to disrupt because for us, those are really difficult to even do a short class, right? They're all over the place. AI is very easy for them to click a button and translate what it is that they're trying to do so the parents can help them out. I mean, I honestly really think that getting a kid's feet wet, getting them the very basics. It can actually talk to them, which, by the
Right.
way, side note, tripped me out when I figured that out on ChatGPT when I clicked that button by mistake and it started
Hmm.
talking to me.
Yeah.
That tripped me out really bad, by the way. I was like, "Hi, Skynet. How can I help you today?"
Right.
Me, good human. You, good AI. We friends.
Oh,
It really did freak me out. I'm not kidding. I didn't know I clicked that button. But I really think that um, these kids is best served by this. Now, who is that going to knock out of the market though? You want to take a wild guess on that? You want to
yeah,
say that?
unfortunately, I think this is going to really hit the lower price teachers first. That's going to include a lot of, almost all the Filipino teachers,
Yep.
uh, South African teachers. Um, I think that's who's going to get hit. I think it's going to be Filipinos and the Indians first, and then at some point, I think it'll start to impact the South African teachers. I'm not
Yes.
saying you're not underpaid. I'm not saying that. I believe you are, but the
No,
market
yeah.
is what the market is, you know.
I think the prejudice in the market will affect those demographics
Mhm.
in sequence. There, it's that's just where it's going to go. And I think also that a lot of the platforms, we all know they are actively using our classes to teach their AIs. So I think the platforms are actually really preparing to do that, to offer those classes because once they've got the AI trained, they can just continue to use the teachers they have, the higher level paid teachers, to keep updating that AI back end.
So
Um, that's where I see it going. I don't know.
let's look at what Katie said here.
Yeah.
Why are parents switching from
Mm-mm.
live to AI tutors? Um, AI tutors are available 24/7 whenever you want. No issues with last minute bookings, rescheduling, and cancellation. Okay, so teachers, if you're one of these, don't be one of these. Don't cancel classes at the last minute. You know, I see so many teachers when they start to go private, they they panic in the early stages and they start canceling classes because they're not sure what to do or for whatever reason. So be reliable. Be reliable.
Having had my own group of teachers in the past,
Mhm.
I will say this is extremely important. You need to have you need to be reliable. You need to be consistent. You need to have
Number
some
one.
type of policy in place that your parents know this is the window in which you cancel if you need to
And
take time off.
the policy is really set up to protect you.
Mhm.
It's, and if you don't allow cancellations, that means you can never cancel.
Yep.
And if you're going to charge for cancellations within 12, 8, 24 hours, whatever that is, then if you cancel with less than that notice, you got to give them a free class. You got to. It's got to work both ways. It's got to work both ways.
This is why you do this really well, by the way, but I also have where you allow so many emergency
Yeah.
cancellations within a 6-month window. That gives you the opportunity to also pull in your own emergency
Right.
cancellation as well,
Emergency.
right? Right.
Right.
Minus the petty cancel for the parent that, constantly cancels.
Yeah.
Tit for
I
tat,
got one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a couple
And
from that one special group. Uh, but yeah, and flexibility is also important. as much as your schedule allows, right? But you should not. That's the part I think that's going to be the more of a problem for a lot of teachers is
Okay.
I have noticed, and you have noticed, and we've had to always train every new parent. I am not available 24/7. I have office
Right.
hours,
Right.
right? Like, and then this teacher, are you there? Teacher. I might be on my phone, but I am not available right now because I am
Right.
outside office hours.
I've had to teach my daughter this too, not just parents. I, just because you message me, it doesn't mean I'm sitting in front of my computer waiting to answer messages.
Right?
My daughter has gotten into the habit of calling me at 4 a.m. and
Well,
she
that's
gets
the thing
mad
with
that I don't answer.
right. Well, that's the thing with the parents too, with our current social media atmosphere that we've got going on. People want that instant response. And I'm like, no, I have a boundary where like my time is my time. When you leave your job at work, you're not you're not available after that time, right? Just because I work at home doesn't mean I'm available 24/7. Um, engagement. Now, see, this is where I think this is all marketing.
Yeah,
They they said they're more gamified and fun. Well, this is where I think those younger kids are gonna find it interesting and they're gonna play for a while, and then they're gonna get bored of it,
right,
and then parents are gonna have to force them to do their lessons.
right. This,
Um,
and I use Katie's lessons and the gamification is, I'm going to tell you guys, it's not what everybody makes it out to be. It's not that big of a deal. It really, you're in there for most kids, it's a 25-minute class. You don't have to play games every time you have a class. You don't have to do it.
you don't, and I love this. Like they're using boring static slides. Again, marketing. They're
Right.
marketing what's been tried and true and proven to be successful as now being boring. Just like a lot of the current experts have found out that for the first time in many, many generations, the next generation is actually doing worse in school than the previous generation, like,
Mhm.
Gen Z compared to Gen X, right? And they've come to realize it's adding all the computers in schools. They've gone to
Well,
instant gratification instead of doing the work, right? The basic
well,
foundational work.
and I also think parents are to blame there.
I do as well. But that's kind of what I'm equating this to. It's tried and true. It makes them do the work, sit down and focus and look at what you are learning. Not, "Ooh, let's play a flashy game and kind of remember what I learned today.
Right.
I remembered the flying dragon. Well, what else do you remember?
That's it. I want to play the game, teacher. I want to play the game.
Right?
You know, uh, and unfortunately, sometimes learning isn't fun. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes learning isn't fun. You know, but I do think that that's
Personality matters.
yeah. Um, nobody really wants to talk to an AI, even a little kid, because they're just not fun. They're just not. But she is right here, engagement. But I don't like. I'm not agreeing with what uh, what she's saying exactly. Static slides are fine as long as you can make it interesting.
Yeah.
Consistency, you know, AI tutors don't go off topic or share personal opinions. You know what? That's what makes classes fun. You know,
Well, and that's how any teacher would teach. Like you see a hole, you fill it immediately. You
right,
see a gap in learning, you fill it immediately. If a student shows interest in a certain topic, you follow that thread, but use the same concept that you're going to be teaching that day and put it into that. That's how you make it interesting.
right, right. Um, I don't know. What do you think about the finances part?
I think that's where the current lower tier teachers, the lower tier paid teachers, not quality of teaching, but the lower tier paid teachers, I think that is where they're going to lose out. I think what they're trying to do is to pay that. because I
You
think
know,
they're going to be able to undercut them just enough and say it's the same class.
oh my gosh, they're going to be able, yeah, yeah. And, but, I have heard this statement since I started in this field. The economy isn't doing great right now. Families are cutting back. I have heard that forever.
They've
You
been
know what?
saying that since like what, 2020? It's like a
Since
mantra.
before that.
I know, but especially since like COVID, literally, like that became like everybody's mantra.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yep.
if you
Um,
want the class, you'll pay for the class. That's just how I look at it.
right, you figure it out. You
You'll
figure it
pay
out.
for what you
And-
see the value in.
right. Okay, so how can independent teachers protect themselves? Some pretty good ideas here. Um,
Yeah.
Target more advanced students and specialize? Yes. I can tell you, if you put a 12 or 13-year-old student in an AI class, they're going to game the system and they're going to start messing with the AI. I just know they're just going to do it. They're going to
Well, they're
start
going to
messing with
figure
the AI.
out the system real quick and make
Right,
it look like they're doing a lot better than they are to appease their
right,
parents and figure out how to finish that class really fast.
right. And, when they're in class with an AI, they're never going to get any unexpected questions. Or let's say we're doing a lesson and they talk about a fair or a carnival. And well, the AI might explain what it is, but it's not going to switch over, change tabs, show some pictures of a fair carnival, and then talk about the amazing, amazingly tasty, yet completely unhealthy fair and carnival food that's out there. you know?
Right? And then use your maybe your vocabulary or your grammar topic to talk about that instead
Right,
because it's interesting to them.
right, right,
Or
exactly.
ask an
So,
unexpected question because a lot of times we can tell by pitch or tone or facial expression that they're kind of glossing over a word that they really don't know, but they magically were able to use it correctly in that particular sentence
right,
until you question it.
right, right. And then she talks about the I 100% agree with this. More than just marketing, though. After you have a student, you make sure you connect with that parent. Let them know that you are their teammate.
Yep.
100%. You are on the same team. You don't want an adversarial relationship with the parent because the kid will be taught by either somebody else or an AI.
Well, I mean, people forget that your client isn't actually the student, it's the parent. The person who's
Right,
paying your classes is your client.
right,
The student is your gateway to that client, is what it is. You make sure that your student is meeting the goals and you have a connection with your student, but the goals should align with what the parent expectation is. That's your
right,
real client.
right. Exactamundo. Exactly. What do you think about this
Increase your
increasing?
prices.
What do you think about that?
I think this is a double-edged sword, is what I
Me
think this
too.
is. I think you can increase your prices when you have a market presence if you specialize.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So be
Um,
known for that skill set.
and I think most like Western teachers, I'm just going to say that, but I include Australia in that, New Zealand, the
Mhm.
UK, Canada, the US. I think your prices are already probably
Pretty close to the top.
far enough away from what AI pricing is going to be that you won't be competing with AI. I just think it's already there because I imagine an AI class. I have a pretty good idea what most like Filipino
It's like
teachers
five
charge.
bucks,
Yeah, it'll
three
be less.
bucks.
They charge less than that. Yeah, yeah. You'll be able to get
Well,
AI
what
classes
they
for like a
charge,
buck and a half.
yeah, well, I a lot of those teachers are working on platforms, so parents are paying a little bit more than that, and the teachers are making around $3 to $4. But
Mhm.
the parents are paying more on the platform a little bit.
Right,
Just so you know, in case anybody wanted to know, we live here. They actually actively advertise on Facebook here, and like the max is like 150 pesos starting at the
yeah.
current exchange rate. We're talking like 275, $3.
Parents want to pay like 20 RMB if they're from China, which is like less than $3,
Mhm.
you know, and yeah,
It's
engaging lessons.
interesting.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I know. Be fun in
This
class.
I think this is really hyped up. I mean, like, your personality. Some people like to play the clown in class, go for it. They like a lot of TPR and extra things. Other people, and that's fine. I'm not like dissing that. That's not me though. I can't do it. Um, Others like you and I, we use more of like our personality, our presence, our interesting way of looking at things or asking crazy, quacky questions. Um, just whatever your stick is, make sure it actually is reaching a goal.
Right, right.
And use AI carefully. I agree with that.
Yeah,
100%.
boy, man. And if you use like Chat GPT, it puts a lot of emojis, emoticons, and these line separators. If you're teaching somebody that doesn't need like PowerPoint, you're teaching an adult or a teenager, remove all that stuff because they see that they know it's AI right away. They know it's AI right away. Remove all of that. Like when you send me the podcast write-ups, I know right away without even you telling me it's Chat GPT. I know right away it is. I know
Oh
right
yeah.
away.
I look over it to make sure it's like what I want in there because I've got it
Mhm.
trained for what I want. That's what it is. I
Right.
spent like months and months training it, so it does what I want. But yeah, it's got all that extra stuff in there. Um, Actually, I give you two different versions. But
Yeah.
yeah, I use ChatGPT to help me create like some of my courses that I have. I ask it
Mhm.
to help me with. I have a specific template that I use, and then I give it the information. It builds out the template that I've already created. So I created actually the original template, and then it replicates it for me. And then I go in and I tweak it. Now that's kind of how you should be using AI. You shouldn't be using it to like literally do everything for you and then try to say, "Oh yeah, this is my courseware." Not really.
Like
People know.
IELTS is a really good place to use AI.
Yeah,
Um, you can just say
because it has a
generate
format.
a yeah, generate a 50-minute IELTS speaking lesson, and you should save that thread and always use that same thread. And then I always tell it I want all new topics and questions. I honestly 1 minute before a IELTS speaking class, I just go make my request and I'm ready. I'm ready. Um, and no, you can't have my prompts. If there's people watching.
Yeah, I've got an entire so you and I have paid chat, so I have an entire folder for like the different courses that I teach and I've taught it what I want. And so that's what you use AI for is you teach it to do your format in your voice, in your structure, and then it just replicates it for you. And you that's how you should be using AI. Um, a lot of times I create a teacher version and I use that to like help me give me an idea of the structure I want, and then I just jump off of it.
What I do is, so I'll have it create something, and then and what it creates I can't use in class, and then I'll say, okay, now give me a student facing version of it.
Yeah, I do that. Yeah.
And then we're good. But yeah, I'm not terrified of AI. I've got my eye on it though. I've got my eye on it. Um, and it's definitely coming. It ain't going away. Don't ignore it, but definitely got to learn how to use it. And there's so many different ones to use. I'm using Gemini a lot these days because I got it 6 months for free with my phone. So, um, and she does say use the paid versions, and uh, I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
I agree because I've used the free and the paid of a couple different, about four different ones. I'm gonna stop sharing now. Um, and the output is significantly different. Also, the ability to train it is a little bit different.
Right.
Um, the quality is just different. I use Gemini. Funny, I use Gemini is in classes. So like when I'm in class and I'm talking with the student on a separate screen, I'll put things in there really quick to get responses of questions that I have or things I want to answer a certain way. Gemini responds faster on the fly. ChatGPT thinks longer, and so it doesn't respond as quick, I've found.
All right.
So I have like a couple threads for different age groups that I use in class live, and my chat I use for more in-depth, structured processes that I need to do.
All right.
I've used, what was the other one? Right Source or Right something. They did really well. They had they do, their AI was really good for when I was using like marketing and stuff. It would create a lot of articles and stuff that I needed help with. Um, I had a dispute with them though over some issues, so I stopped using it. I was in contact with their R&D department. So, well, what else have I used? Claude. I think I used Claude once,
I
but I
love
could check it out
Claude.
again.
I love Claude.
Ooh, Copilot.
100%. A Copilot's such crap. Microsoft is just taking it on the chin these days, man. They are they, they
I
are
don't use
really
it at
taking.
all.
Yeah, and I'm going to. You're on my family plan in Microsoft. I'm going to cancel that whole thing because I don't use it. I finally come to the realization I don't use it enough.
Okay. Well, let me know then because that'll affect my teams.
Oh, how will
And
it
it's
affect your
connected to
teams?
that. It's connected to that, right?
Yeah,
Isn't that
but it
Microsoft?
doesn't. Isn't there's no limits on teams? I don't think.
But it's the free version, and that means no recording.
Oh, oh, I need that recording too for IELTS. For
Yep.
IELTS. All right.
That's, remember we
Okay,
found that out. Remember we found that out when we were testing out all the
that's
different
right.
craptacular platforms.
I'm not. I'm not putting OBS on my computer. I'm just not
I'm
doing it.
not doing it at all either. So that was the one thing that we found out was that the recording.
Yeah.
That was the
Never mind.
that was
I'm keeping Teams
I think it actually was cheaper to do it with that family plan, the Teams version, than it was to.
to just pay for Teams. The difference was nominal. It wasn't. Never mind. I'm keeping Microsoft. Disregard what I said.
I'm so sorry, that's funny. I I ruined it. All right. Uh, all right. Sorry, I just got a random message off to the side from somebody I don't hear from very often. I
Mhm.
don't know why, but people think I am their personal doctor sometimes. They'll ask like medical questions where you're just like, me and my fictional doctor degree. Um, I'm not giving out medical advice. Um, yeah. So what's our last one here? Claude, though, that's one I'm really interested in looking at again. I looked at it like when it first came out.
Claude, man, is so
I was,
good. The,
is it?
the yeah, especially it's really good for making social media posts that sound human.
Ah, okay. I'm gonna
You
have to
know,
check that out.
you're not going to be diving in to anything. You know, whenever I see a post
Let
on
me
social
break it
media,
down.
yeah, yeah, and they say, "Let's dive in." I'm like, yeah, never mind. I'll go to the next one. And you know, yeah, Claude, I like Claude a lot. I like Claude a lot.
I know a
I'm
lot
not
of,
paid for it
I've
right now.
heard a lot of teachers have been talking about, and academics actually have been talking about it for a while. Right. All right. Last on the agenda, gripe session. Maybe. I don't know.
Do you have
New
any?
new things. I have had ridiculous cancellations again. I don't know. It's to the point where it's concerning. Seriously, absolutely concerning. Um, I have moved all of my teachers officially over to the TCC pay as of
Hmm.
yesterday. That was pretty good news for me. I changed that business model, right, where I had teachers
Hmm.
under my TCC umbrella. I have now moved them all over to help them with independent status. So
Hmm.
that's cool. What else have I got? I think that's pretty much it. Just the normal stuff recently this week. Just a lot of cancellations. Like I think yesterday I had 4 classes. The day before that I had 3, and the day before that I had 2.
All right.
Crazy, right?
It's
Absolutely craziness.
insane. It's insane.
And I'm
I
usually like completely booked out, which is weird.
I have one student that's just not getting it with the cancellations, and I'm gonna pull one of their slots, I think, and give it to somebody that's not gonna cancel 15 minutes for class,
I mean, it's
even
not
though I
like you're
charge
not
her
being
for
paid. Yeah,
it. Right.
but still. Yeah, I
All
agree.
I got today.
That's all I've got today as well. Yeah, I think we're pretty good. So you guys, let us know, what is your favorite AI? What do you think about AI? Do you think it's going to take over your job eventually? Are you worried about this?
I
And
know
how,
you. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, and how many of you would be interested in seeing our Notion template? I was gonna
That's
end with
what
that. Sorry.
I was gonna ask how many people were on the edge of their seats waiting for that.
Great minds think alike.
Right, right, right. All right. Peace.
Sayonara, y'all. See you later. Let's see if I can figure out how to turn it off this time. There it is. Stop.